He-Man has the most powerful sword in the universe, but no one has told you who forged it, where, or at what cost. Thousands of years ago, long before Prince Adam existed, there was a warrior named King Grayskull, the first champion of Eternia. He was the one who carried the sword, he was the one who defended the planet, and it was he who died in the Great War, a war so brutal that it destroyed entire civilizations and left Eternia on the brink of collapse. Before he died, he focused all his power, all his essence, into the sword, so that the next worthy champion could wield it, so that the power would not die with him. But the sword was not always the sword we know today. King Grayskull had to forge it from scratch, and to do so, he needed two things that no human could obtain alone. First, a rare dark mineral that only existed in Subternia, the underworld of Eternia, a place so dangerous that he had to negotiate for it with Scarecrow, the ghostly guardian of that realm. Second, the Trollan Magismiths, magical blacksmiths from Trollan, the world of Orko, the only race in the universe with the knowledge to fuse magic and metal into a single blade. They forged the sword in two halves, one in Preternia, the celestial realm, the other in Subternia, the underworld. Heaven and hell fused into the same blade. And here comes the detail that changes everything. The sword wasn't created for fighting, it was created as a key, the only key capable of opening Castle Grayskull and accessing the Orb of Power, the core of all the magic in Eternia. That's why Skeletor wanted it so much, not to wield it in battle, but to unite it, use it as a master key, and enter the heart of the castle. And in the original 1981 mini-comics, when you opened the toy box, Skeletor already had the dark half of the sword, the one that came from Subternia. He-Man had the celestial half, the one from Preternia, and the two fit together physically. Your He-Man toy and your Skeletor toy, the swords would join together. In Masters of the Universe Revelation, we find out what happens when the sword disappears. Skeletor manages to use it as a key. He-Man stabs it into the Orb of Power to stop him. And at that moment, the magic of Eternia begins to die. The planet goes dark, the powers disappear, and without magic in Eternia, the rest of the universe follows the same path. A single sword, keeping the entire universe alive. Hela has to travel to Preternia and Subternia, the two worlds where it was forged, to recover the two halves and reforge it with the last spark of magic that remained. Since King Grayskull, the sword passed from champion to champion. His son, He-Hero, wielded it. Then, other warriors throughout the millennia, until it ended up in the hands of a prince who didn't want to be a hero. Prince Adam didn't choose the sword chose him, forged in the heaven and hell of Eternia by blacksmiths from another dimension, with a mineral that only ghosts could obtain. Imbued with the soul of the first warrior who died so that others could live. That's what Adam held high every time he shouted by the power of Grayskull. How many of you knew that?